subhanahu wa ta'ala makes something, the reward of it really huge, big, or Allah really praise it, that means this is something not ordinary. Majority of people cannot do it. Are you all with me? Al-qalbu salim, the heart that is free, nothing of the... One sentence will give you all, and then I'll give you more detail. Nothing lives in that heart. Are you ready? Except Allah. Nothing. You love people, but they don't live in your heart. You don't like people, but they don't live in your heart. You love your job, they don't live in your heart. You love your beauty, it doesn't live in your heart. Well, how do I know they are not living in my heart? When you lose your job, what happens? When the person you love left you for whatever the reason, what happens? If you are going to be sad or crying or anxiety or all this, and they were living in your heart, and Allah is stripping them away. If you're going to say, قَدَّرَ اللَّهُ مَا شَاءَ فَعَلَ, Allah decree, and whatever Allah decree will happen, and nothing changes. You have a qalbu salim. How many has qalbu salim? You are very honest. None of us. None of us. Because if I put the selfie, as you know, the selfie, we all love selfie. That's fine, as long as there's no kibr in it. Alhamdulillah. Although sometimes I think it's getting too much. Especially when I take selfie to myself and post it. Why? No, honestly, it's not a joke. It's when I don't think of what I'm doing, when I start copy and paste whatever others are doing. Why do I want to take an I am whatever I am? Why do I not tell people where I am? Right? Why? Because I am looking for the compliment. I look for the likes. And I read the comments. And I get very upset if someone says something. It's not funny, it is painful. Because I'm way far from the qalbu salim. When I do the selfie, don't do it on your face. Do it on your heart. And of course, this is metaphor. We can't do it. But if you put it, and Allah allowed it, who you will see there? How many are living in your heart? People, things, feelings, and again, anger, arrogance, self-admiration, all the diseases of the heart. Once you get very upset and you start talking about somebody, and I come to you, or anyone come to you and says, come on, forgive her. And you say to me, but you don't know what she did to me. Don't talk to me about qalbu salim. Don't talk to me about the qalbu salim. If you want to know in action, read the story of Sayyidina Ibrahim. When he came to his father, which is the famous dialogue you all know. It's in Surah Maryam, right? Right? What did Allah says, right? Many ways, but in Maryam, he said, وَاذْكُرْ فِي الْكِتَابِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِنَّهُ كَانَ صَدِّيقًا نَبِيًّا. Mention to them, Ibrahim, he was صَدِّيقًا نَبِيًّا. He was a truthful, and he was a Nabi. That's fine. But then the relationship with the father. The father, it could be any one of us in my life, but I disagreed with him. And I disagreed with him on a fundamental issue. That I am so convinced I'm right, and the other person is very convinced he is or she is right. Right? Don't think about Ibrahim himself, alayhi salam, but about the concept. This is when you read the Quran and live the Quran, this is what it means. What they told you, and now I'm sure you all have heard about it, and inshallah there is classes here about tadabbur al-Quran. You reflect, you live the Quran. Here you go. This is the dialogue. Right? إِذْ قَالَ لِأَبِيهِ. Right? يَا أَبَتِي. Right? لَا تَعْبُدِ الشَّيْطَانِ. إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ كَانَ لِلرَّحْمَنِ عَصِيًّا. Daddy. And he said, يَا أَبَتِي. And those of you who know Arabic, it's very different than Ya Walidi. And it's very different than Ya Abi. It's all translated to my father, but it is very different in the Arabic language. Ya Abati, it's a word used when you really love that person. Ya Abati. لا تعبد الشيطان. Don't worship shaitan. Why? Explain. No anger, no you're wrong, no. إن الشيطان كان للرحمن عصيا. Verily shaitan, to the most merciful, and he didn't use the word Allah. That's another whole story. He used Ar-Rahman. Asiya. He was disobedient. Right? And then he explained to him, why I'm saying this to you. يا أبت إني قد جاءني من العلم ما لم يأتك فاتبعني أهدك صراطا سويا. Daddy, I was given knowledge. Right? He didn't say you're ignorant, you're going to go to Jahannam. Right? No, Daddy, I was given knowledge. You were not given. Right? فاتبعني, just follow me. I don't want anything from you. Just follow me. أهدك صراطا سويا. I'm going to take you, guide you to the straight path. Right? يا أبتي 3 times. إني أخاف. I'm worried about you. That's love. إني أخاف أن يمسك عذاب من الرحمن. Again, I'm worried about you. That you will be, that Ar-Rahman, the most merciful, you will be touched by a punishment from Ar-Rahman. فَتَكُونَ لِلشَّيْطَانِ وَلِيًّا. You will be the friend of shaitan. How beautiful is this? Very polite, to the point, right? No disrespect, right? And literally I translated it. How did his father said? What did he respond? أراغب أنت عن آلهتي يا إبراهيم لأرجمنك وهجرني مليا. Are you telling me you're not worshipping what I am worshipping? This is exactly how you read it. أراغب, it's a istifham, it's question, meaning how dare you do that? And then what did he say? I'm going to cast you. لأرجمنك. You know when you go to a Hajj and you cast the pebbles, that's rajm. See what he said and how his father responded. I am going to cast you and you leave. وَهْجُرْنِي مَلِيًّا, forever far away. I don't want to see you. How did he respond? You really need to go and read this. There's many dialogues in the Quran, teaches you many things, but this one especially about when someone is very harsh on me. And I am for sure right, Sayyidina Ibrahim. And he's talking to him about Allah. So he said, I'm going to cast you and you leave. Basically, I don't want to see your face. Right? What did he say? Salamun alayk. Sa'astaghfiru laka Rabbi. Innahu kana bi hafiya. Peace be upon you. I'm going to ask Allah for forgiveness for you. Somebody looks at you and gives you this whole long list of names and calls you. You say, peace be upon you. I'm going to ask Allah to forgive you. How many of you will do that? Versus, just wait and see what I will do. You don't know who I am. Right? That's the no. Or even don't wait. Immediately. The qalbu salim, the true heart. That's why it is very difficult. And that's why it's a straight shot to Jannah. When nothing in your heart lives other than Allah, which means anything that pleases Allah, I'm doing it. There's no if and but. I don't see human beings. I see creation of Allah. It's a huge difference. I don't see Sarah, Fatima, or Muhammad, or Khalid. I don't see. I see all creation of Allah. And the creation of Allah is being moved by Allah. You didn't speak. Allah made you speak. You did not attack me. Allah allowed you to attack me. So when I hear this, I don't say, how dare you say this? I say, Ya Allah, what did I do? You unleashed that person toward me. Are you with me? Everything from morning to evening roams around. Allah does not roam around me and I and my family and my beauty and my money and my children. Look how many my I just said. That's al-qalb al-salim. How many of us has it? How many of us even know this? Because if I know, and I know where this will get me to, at least I'm going to start the journey. But many of us, we think we're okay. I'm going to Jannah. Really. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends you a message and says, Jannah is waiting for you. Subhanah. No. No. Even the Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam. وَلَا أَنْتَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ لَنْ يَدْخُلْ أَحَدُكُمُ الْجَنَّةِ بِعَمَلِهِ. Nobody of you, he was telling Sahaba, not you and me. None of you will enter Jannah by what they have done. عَمَلِهِ. وَلَا أَنْتَ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. Not even you. He said, وَلَا أَنَا. Not even me. إِلَّا أَن يَتَغَمَّدَنِي اللَّهُ بِرَحْمَتِهِ. Unless Allah engulfed me with His rahmah. And scholars have a lot of discussion about, like, if a Rasul alayhi salatu wasalam will enter, what would happen to us? And the response was, because what is waiting for us in Jannah, whatever we do here, we don't qualify. You know, like they tell you, you do 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you qualify for whatever. Whatever we do here, because of what is waiting for us in Jannah, مَا لَا رَأَتْ عَيْنٌ وَلَا سَمِعَتْ أُذُنٌ. In the Jannah, there is things that no eyes have seen before and no ears have heard. So to get there, I need al-qalb al-salim. And one of the other meanings, and now the detailed one I told you, you may want to write that. This is actually Imam Ibn al-Qayyim. And he said, al-qalb al-salim, the true heart, is the heart that is free of the followings. There's a long list, but bear with me. Free, meaning nothing. It's not like 10% to 90%. Zero, nothing. خلا أو خالي أو سليمة من كل شهوة تخالف أمر الله ونهيه. The heart that is free from every desire. Pay attention to every word I'm saying. Every desire in me or you that goes against what Allah said do or don't, I don't have it in my heart. For example, are you ready for a tough examples? I think you are. Bismillah. What is the most important thing for the woman? Her beauty. How do we look? That's reality. And actually, this is how Allah created us. There is nothing haram about that. I'm talking in general, the concept, right? We all want to look beautiful. And I'm talking again about general concept. We all look at the mirror before we leave, right? I do this or I don't do that. Or why? Because I want to look beautiful. General concept. Now comes to my heart, and what does it have? Related to beauty. Are you all with me? And then you can put any other example. So I am looking at the mirror before I leave, wherever I am going. And if I put this lipstick, again, I'm giving reality examples related to women. If I'm going to put this lipstick, I'm going to look more beautiful. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to deny it because then I'm a liar, right? Or if I'm going to put this nail polish, or I am going to put this fake eyelashes that is the norm these days, I'm going to look more beautiful. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to say, no, you look ugly. Then I am not living the reality. My desire, my nafs wants to look more beautiful. I'm looking at that mirror and I say, I look much better, especially with this color. Nothing wrong with that. Now come to the qalb al-salim. Now I am debating, is that pleasing to Allah? Are you all with me? Remember, that heart has nothing in it but Him, capital H. So I'm looking at the mirror and there is this debate and nobody is hearing it except you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And you're going to say, but this is not pleasing to him. Because he said, don't show your beauty. Right? Except to the few exceptions. Why I'm doing it? Because I like it. I love it. People will praise me. That's my desire. Now, Qalbu Salim is going to stand up and is going to say, no. This desire is not pleasing to Allah. In fact, it's against what He said. I'm going to go right away and remove the lipstick. Then my heart is setting. Are you all with me? And take it on everything else. I gave you just a simple example. One of the issues we have, I'm not talking about people. Before people, I'm still in the house alone, is the debate inside me. There's a big debate inside us. Most of us have this sound of good heart. When I do something wrong, I know I am doing it. True or false? Very unlikely. Very unlikely, I really didn't know. But most of the time, I know. What happens? Why do I do it? Not only I like it, now listen to this, I start justifying it. And that's how shaitan operates on me. One of the biggest tools of shaitan operates on me to justify the disobedience is Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. Allah is all forgiving, Allah is all merciful. Absolutely, Allah is all forgiving, all merciful. Who I am or who you are to deny this. But what do I do with the other part? ما يقال لك. I love this verse. It's in Surah Fussilat. ما يقال لك إلا ما قد قيل للرسل من قبلك. What we are going to tell you is nothing different than what we have said to the prophets before you. إن ربك لذو مغفرة وذو عقاب أليم. Your Lord owns a lot of forgiveness. We live with this side. وذو عقاب أليم. And He has a painful punishment. So when I am trying to justify my disobedience to Allah, and I just gave you the simple example. Same thing when I want to wake up for Fajr. Same thing when I'm so upset with this person and I'm going to say it. Something in me say, don't say it. This is not pleasing to Allah, and back and forth. All these justification acts, it's all from shaitan. Your heart, this is what I want you all to do when you go home, and do it alone. Write the quality of the sound heart. And apply it in your daily life. And see how many times, listen to this one, how many times you will fail and how many times you will succeed. Because this is a process. This is not, today you heard this, tomorrow you are, mashallah, Sayyidina Ibrahim. It's not going to happen this way. It's a struggle. Because I don't know, number one. And once I know, it's a tough road. Because I'm going against the most difficult factor, which is me, by the way. Don't blame people. We always blame people. I don't blame people, I blame me, number one. Right? But again, we live in a society, it's always someone else's fault. Right? I failed because the teacher doesn't love me. I don't say I didn't study, or I don't say, you know what, I studied very well, but Allah did not want me to pass. I always blame it on somebody else. So number one, the heart that is free. When I say free, I mean there is nothing. So I can say I'm working on it. I'm in the process. Like I'm losing weight, my goal, whatever the goal. I didn't reach it yet, but I'm working on it. So my goal is my heart is free. Nothing, any desire that does not please Allah, and any desire that does not please Allah is out. Number one. Now the second one, which is the toughest one, especially living in the West, being sophisticated, educated. And وَمِن كُلِّ شُبْهَةٍ تُعَارِضُ خَبَرَهُ. And from every thought that goes against what he said. Are you all with me? Every thought goes against what he said. Who can give me an example? Applies to women.